If you've been in a car wreck, one of the biggest questions on your mind is probably whether your case is actually going to end up in a courtroom or whether it's going to settle before you ever get that far. And the hard part is, most people don't know what really pushes a case toward trial, what makes an insurance company settle, or what the warning signs are that a fight is coming. I'm Tim Miley, and I've spent years helping injury victims right here in West Virginia handle serious accident cases and stand up to insurance companies when they refuse to do the right thing. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the real factors that decide whether your car accident lawsuit goes to trial, so that you can understand what to expect and make better decisions about your case. Because if you get this wrong, you can end up stressed, underprepared, and pressured into accepting less than what your case may actually be worth. Am I actually going to court? The truth is, that decision, whether your case settles or goes to trial, can potentially mean the difference between getting what you deserve or walking away with far, far less. And most people don't know what pushes a case one way or the other. They don't know the warning signs. They don't know what the insurance company is really thinking. And by the time they figure it out, it's often too late to change the outcome. I've been a lawyer for over 25 years, and I help injury victims right here in West Virginia deal with situations just like this. In this video, I'm going to break down what actually determines whether your case goes to trial and how to tell which direction your case is heading before it's decided for you. What really happens after a crash? Most people imagine a big courtroom battle, a judge, a jury, dramatic testimony, but in reality, that almost never happens. In West Virginia, about 90% of car accident cases settle before trial. So the real question isn't just, will my case go to trial? It's, why do some cases settle and others don't? Why most cases settle? Insurance companies don't want trials. That's because they're expensive, they take time, and they're unpredictable. So if liability is clear and both sides can agree on a dollar amount that fairly compensates you for your injuries, the case usually settles. For example, if you're rear-ended at a red light in Charleston and the other driver admits fault, your attorney negotiates with the insurance company, and eventually you reach a number that covers your injuries. No courtroom, no jury, and for most people, that's exactly what they want. Because the alternative can mean waiting a year or more, with bills piling up and no resolution in sight. When things start to change, just because most cases settle doesn't mean yours will. There are a few situations where trial becomes very real. Number one, when fault is disputed. If both sides blame each other, the insurance companies dig in. Now, when that happens, you're not just arguing about money, but you're also arguing about who caused the crash. And in West Virginia, that matters. Because if you're found more than 50% at fault, you don't recover anything. If neither side backs down, you'll have to go to trial and a jury will decide for you. Number two, when the value is disputed. Sometimes everyone agrees on what happened, but not on what your injuries are worth. The insurance company might say it's a minor injury, but your doctor says it's an injury that could affect you for years. If that gap between what the insurance company thinks your case is worth and what you believe your case is worth is too big, the case may likely head to trial. Number three, when you get a low offer, you submit your claim, and the offer comes back far lower than what you know it should be. At that point, you have a choice. Accept less and move on, or push back. Sometimes the only way to get a fair offer is to show that you're willing to take the case to trial. And many cases settle right before trial for that very reason. Number four, when the stakes are high. If your case involves long-term medical care, lost income, or the loss of a loved one, the stakes are higher, much higher. And when the stakes are higher, insurance companies fight harder. Number five, when insurance becomes the problem. If the other driver doesn't have enough insurance, or none at all, you may need to rely on your own insurance coverage, and that can lead to a dispute with your own insurance company. What going to trial actually looks like. It's not like TV. It's slower and more structured, but it's still very serious. There's jury selection, opening statements, evidence and witnesses, closing arguments, and then a verdict. Once your case goes to a jury, the decision of what your case is worth is totally out of your hands. The decision you'll eventually face. At some point, every case reaches a fork in the road. Settle or go to trial. If you settle, the case is over. you don't get to come back and ask for more. So the real question is whether the offer is fair or whether you're being pressured to accept less than what you deserve. What you should do right now. If you're in the middle of a claim, start gathering everything. Photos, medical records, bills, doctor's notes. The stronger your evidence, the more leverage you have. And talk to an attorney who understands how these cases play out in West Virginia. Because the earlier you understand where your case is heading, the better decisions you can make. Don't miss this deadline. In West Virginia, you generally have 2 years from the date of the accident to file a lawsuit. If you miss that deadline, your case is gone, no matter how strong it was. Most cases don't go to trial, but the ones that do usually follow a pattern. And if you can spot that pattern early, you stay in control. Instead of reacting, you're deciding, and that can make all the difference. To sum it up, most car accident lawsuits in West Virginia settle outside of court, but sometimes a trial is necessary, especially if there's a fight about who's at fault or how much you're owed. Your best move is to work with an attorney who will push for a fair settlement, but who's ready to take your case to trial if and when needed. If you want to learn more about your rights, especially in tragic situations, make sure to watch our next video titled, "How long do you have to file a wrongful death claim?" Don't miss it. Knowing these deadlines could make all the difference for your family. See you over there.